Good afternoon. This is Munira from Chicagoland. How are you? I am the CEO and founder of Kismet Ventures, Inc. And I am on a mission these days to find people who are instilling values in other people. I do this because I feel that people don't take commendation from themselves and don't feel that they should be recognized for this. So I go find these people and expose them and promote them in the world. Well, today I have my friend from Kenya, John Kinuthia. He is a Kenyan, just like I am. So this is a near and dear to my heart interview. Hi, John. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, Munira.
Well, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Wow. First of all, I would like to thank you because of the job you're doing, promoting people who are adding value. I think, as you said, that gap is missed, and most people are just about doing, adding value, but we forget ourselves. And when you have people like you doing this, just a phenomenal job and phenomenal thing to do. And we thank you.
Thank you.
And now I'm going to start by saying I'm a Kenyan, and it's a beautiful thing to connect with a fellow Kenyan. This is, learning from Kenya just made me feel I'm home again, you know what I mean? And it's just beautiful. And I grew up in Thika, for those people who will be watching this from Kenya, Thika region. And my background is in teaching, and I graduated, and immediately, even before I graduated, I was teaching and tutoring kids. And it is in those moments of teaching and tutoring that I found my passion, and I found what I'm called to do in this world, which is to add value to people through educating them, through helping them find their purpose, find their meaning, doing the things that they love doing, and teaching high school kids who are in the process of trying to figure out what do I want to do with my life, and helping them transition to college level, because I also taught college level, and helping those kids now transition from college to the job market. And I loved it. And then 6 years ago, I came to the US and to reunite with the love of my life, and to follow my dreams, because America is a country of dreams. It's a country where when you come here, and you focus on what you can do best, then you yield, you get the harvest. And since I had a background in finance and economics, I was able to get a job in the finance industry, where I was for the last 6 years. And working in the finance industry is good. You learn a lot. But when I was working there, I would still feel this urge in my heart, in my head, in my soul that, John, you're called to do something bigger than this. Every day driving to work, I would still get that calling, John, you're still called to do something bigger. And there are only two choices. I can choose to shut that voice down and just continue doing what I was doing, or choose to jump out and start doing something that will add value to many people as possible. So, well, 6 years in finance, and a few months ago, I decided to jump the ship out and become an independent presenter, independent speaker, trainer, and coach, and being certified by the John Maxwell team, and being able to access all this content and to help people. So I would say I'm on a journey right now to add value to as many people as possible, especially to help the young professionals, the young adults, and the youth. Because most of the people I've spoken with, especially in companies, are not able to understand what do the young people want? What do the young professionals want? How do we help them? And therefore, I thought, if companies are asking that question, then I have the answer to what the young people want. And what they want is somebody who can go to their level, understand them, and provide the training that they really need, and the answers they are asking through the process of professional development. So
let me ask you, so let me build on that, because you said a lot of things that make my heart swell. So one of the things you said was that you came to meet your love of your life. So was she here and you met her over the line, online?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I call it my love story. It's a beautiful story. So, well, in Kenya, we used to run, in college, we had a campus that we used to run as local volunteers. It was called VIDES Kenya, Volunteer Internationally for Development of Education and Services, run by Salesian sisters. So in 2008, obviously Kenya, after election, we had the violence. And in the previous years, we used to get international volunteers from UK, Italy, Malta, and European countries. But because of the violence, the governments there said, you can't go, they wouldn't allow their volunteers to come to Kenya because of the issues. But, you know, in the US, there was this girl who was trying to go into a mission abroad to serve, you know, and she was trying to decide between countries in Africa, and she ended up choosing Kenya to come to Kenya and volunteer with us. So it was, I think there are these things that God brings together, I would say.
Yes.
And she came to Kenya in 2008, and as I say, being a local volunteer, we met there, and we were volunteering to run a camp in Dagoretti. You're familiar with Dagoretti?
Yes, Dagoretti.
Dagoretti.
So were you with the children's camp there?
Yes, we used to run a two-week camp.
Okay.
So we would invite local primary school kids and kids that are underprivileged, you know, and we would help them through the 5 main subjects: the math, science, English, Swahili, and then we would also do art. It was a phenomenal. It was phenomenal, and I enjoyed every part of it. And therefore, this year, 2008, when she came, you know, the assistant judge asked us if for a volunteer to help her navigate Kenya and, you know, help her out. And that person happened to be me. So, and over time, you know, friendship developed, and friendship moved us, you know, to be a relationship and everything else.
And that's your story, and you're sticking to it, right?
I'm sticking to that story, yes. And 3 years later, I was able to come here.
Well, that's awesome. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And so, and you know, so where in the United States are you located?
I'm in Brookhaven, Philadelphia.
Wow. Okay. All right. So you say you help students here, and you go to companies and you ask them what they need within youth, and then you come and prepare the youth. So you have a teaching background, you have a finance background. How are you incorporating all of those things, and how are you finding your youth that you need to help?
You know, different companies have different needs, especially for young professionals. A company that does research would want their team equipped to become better presenters, to become better public speakers when they're presenting their statistics and research. So when I go to that company, they would evaluate and see the most needed aspect of their company and the development is presentation skills. So, and I would get the team together and would go through specific things that would be more valuable to what they do. If we go to a finance company, especially for companies that, you know, most people work on a computer for 9 to 12 hours. That's what I did. You know, you would ask the simple question, what can I do to either revamp the culture, or what can I do to help everyone here see the value that they do and see the value they bring and work with enthusiasm, because most of the time we're just kind of going through the motion. Okay, it's morning, I need to go to work. It's evening, I need to go home. But there's no development. And we always say, and John Maxwell says this, you want your organization to get better, your people have to get better. So, and in order to increase profitability, in order to create sustainability, then you need to develop these young professionals, whether it's through leadership, through communication, even presentation skills. You have to do what it is in line with the specific needs of the organization. For schools, I'll tell you this, I've had an opportunity to speak to different schools, and issue with character building, leadership, advancing leadership capabilities of the young kids, self-esteem have been huge in, especially around my area. But there's one area that has come up recently, the phone etiquette. Mobile phone. We always talk about, all sorts of addiction. The mobile phone has, got people involved that they forget themselves.
Yes.
And speaking with students, high school students, college level students, some of them feel like their life is on the phone.
Yes.
If you take away the phone, you take away their life.
True.
So how important is it for us who are trying to build people, first of all, to meet these young people where they are, and then try to change or try to help them to see this value beyond the phone. I happened to speak to a couple of students the other day, and I was giving a presentation on making choices, especially when it comes to a phone. And I was asking them, how many here are able to turn off their phone at least 15 minutes a day and have 15 minutes of quiet time? One of them was quick to say, John, I can't do that because my assignment is in my phone. Everything that I do is on the phone. What do you expect me? How do you expect me to turn the phone off? He said, direction. If I need to go somewhere, I use my phone for travel. I said, you bring a very good point there. But what do you do when the phone is dead? When it doesn't have any charge? And she said, I charge it. And I said that the same thing happens to us. When you cannot recharge your brain, when you cannot recharge your soul, when you cannot recharge your body, then it's the same as a useless dead phone. It can't serve you. So it's important to equip and to help these young people and young professionals about the essence of being able to turn off their phone for a couple of minutes a day and have a personal time. I call it the meeting between me, myself, and I. When you have a me, myself, and I meeting, it's very important to help you.
You bring such a wonderful point, because that's also my pet peeve, right? And I noticed that in kids, because by the time they're 8 years old, they start asking their parents, I need a phone, I need a phone. But here's the thing, we start them off very early, because nowadays, when parents are busy, they give this item to the baby to watch their cartoons. Oh, YouTube, let's just keep them busy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when the child understands that they can see images, and then they start rolling around the buttons and everything. I mean, I've got grandkids, so I see that happening even with all of the kids that are, that are there. And it's a proper babysitter that goes anywhere. And nowadays with unlimited data, you can watch a lot of things.
Yeah.
So we start them off early. And then as they grow, the schools and the teachers have decided that they're going to text message the children their assignments, right? And then, page this, don't forget to do your homework. It's on this page, and this is, and so any kind of reminders. Schools have decided to create apps, and all subjects have apps, and so assignments are now being given through apps. So There's no talking, there's no remembering. People, I mean, you and I don't know if you remember, but I still remember my phone number from Kenya. I still remember some of my kids' numbers. If they change it, then yes, there's a problem. But I still remember some of the numbers, right?
Yeah.
But there was a method to that madness because we couldn't, either we had a phone book. I'm dating myself here. And then we had, phone numbers, or we had a way to memorize. But now, you talk to people and you're on speed dial. Why do I need to memorize your number?
Yeah.
So that has become an epidemic, but it starts off with the parents giving this little device to the children. I was very amazed that, kids have tablets.
Yeah, they do.
And like, why do they need a tablet? What happened to holding a pencil? Well, 4-year-olds, I'm listening to mothers in, places when I go to places, or when I take my grandkids to the playground.
Yeah.
Mothers are discussing that my child is in special ed classes to hold a pencil.
Wow.
Well, they don't know because now they have touch screen.
Yeah.
So that is an epidemic.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to hold a pencil. They don't know how to hold a crayon. So and handwriting is another thing. I mean, you and I come from Kenya, so we had teachers who would ding us, on handwriting, right? You know this. And so, I mean, I loved my teachers, but at that time I never understood why. But right now the penmanship is so good that I'm thinking, oh, I have good handwriting.
Yeah, well.
Where other people don't, So this has become an epidemic. It's not only in the United States, it's everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, there is cell phones. There's an upgrade to a cell phone every so many months.
Yeah, a few months. Yeah.
Everybody wants that new one. And then the kids get the hand-me-downs. So that is an epidemic. And touch that little area in my heart where that to me is a problem, because communication skills are being lost.
Yes, and what you said is very important, because if people are spending 5, 6, 7 hours on their phone and there's no dialogue between people, then there's so much that you're missing. I was reading a book, a presentation by John Maxwell himself, saying that whenever you're making a presentation or whenever you're talking to people, 7% make up the words that you say. Body language makes up the largest percentage, and I believe it's 55%. And the tone and everything else makes it 38%. And when people are so much focused on online or on the phone, and they're not paying real good attention to what the other person is saying, then so much is missed. And that's where I bring the question, okay, what can we do? We recognize there's this issue. We cannot just keep recognizing it. We have to act on it. And that's why I decided in my presentations and in my talks, and even when I'm doing training in companies, I find ways to weave that in to remind them that it's important we have the technology. It's important we have all these apps and phones and everything. But to remind them, if you have younger people and kids, to try and teach them the value of 15-minute quiet time so that they can regain energy, and reflect on their life. Otherwise, I give myself as an example, like if my phone is 20% battery life, I am running all over looking for a charger. What about when my brain is 20%? What about when?
So you don't have a battery power, right, on your brain where you can see my brain's at 20%.
Yes. And that's what it is. Why it's very important to create time every day, either to create a meditation moment, a gratitude moment, because that's something else that I do, that I inspire unconditional gratitude to help people stay focused in the present moment and recognize that life is a gift, and whatever else we do, busy life, 15 minutes to an hour, 2 hours, depending on the amount of time that you can have, could change your life.
So that's awesome. So now when you are exposing these ideas to young folks, give me 2 points that you share with them, and how do you implement these points so that they're doing this as an exercise every day? Is this just a meditation, or is there something else?
Well, good question. I always, look at it this way. I encourage them to look at the palm of their hands first. Because when you look at the palm of your hands, the beauty of it is that obviously we are all unique. But I use it as an example to, you can lift up your hands. That means you elevate, or you can lower your hands, meaning you can drop your hands down. Elevate, down, it means way down or drop down. So when we are filling our lives with so much things, including the phone, and we don't have a moment whereby we are uplifting our lives and our minds and nourishing our minds, at that moment we are going down. We're getting more frustrations, we're getting more disappointments, we are feeling bad, we are comparing ourselves to other people negatively, and we feel like life is not good. But when you turn off your phone for half an hour and you have a gratitude moment, for myself, I call it a gratitude moment, where I invite them to take a pen and a paper and just think through 3, 4, 5 things that you are grateful for that day. Think about people you are grateful for that day. Think about 5 ideas that you had that day that you felt they were really good, and you shared with people and they appreciate it. Think about anything that made you feel so grateful, so good that day. The other thing is, think about moments that happened in your day that felt a little intimidating in your life, a little frustrating. And then think about the choices that you made in those moments. And this is important because it allows you to dig deep. It allows you to go inside yourself. So that's one exercise I do to help them, because you don't want them to shut down their phones and then go on the TV. You know what I mean? You can't tell me, okay, shut down your phone and then there's a TV there. No, you want them to stay engaged within. Because it's from within, then we are able to give out what is in ourselves.
Okay.
And number 2 is, I always try to facilitate or help them look for areas where they can help other people. Maybe friends, maybe family members. Just think about one person that is in your life and write something down and ask yourself, how can I be of value to this person? What needs do they tell me they have, or what needs do I suspect that they have? Write that down, because I believe in the power of writing things down. Have a journal with you and call them or go meet them and share what you thought about them. So that's an idea that I implement and works well for those who listen, and I get good feedback that they were able to do that. And the feedback they get whenever, let's say, a person calls, let's say a student shares and says, I have a friend of mine, I've not spoken with them, or I have a young professional, we haven't talked in a couple of months. When they act on getting together and sharing what they wrote on their book, they get a very positive feedback and a very strong response, like, this is really good. And I say, multiply that. Have a couple of people do the same. And I always inspire, as I said, inspire unconditional gratitude. Something else I do is to call it actionable gratitude. This is my mom's teaching. What I'm going to talk about right now is my mom's teaching.
Okay.
My mom taught us that most of the time, yes, it's good to say thank you, but, thank you very much. But she also said you can go to extra mile. And part of it was doing dishes as part of the gratitude moment. Because I never used to like doing dishes.
Of course not. Nobody does.
My brother Peter never liked it. I mean, my family, I would say Peter probably liked doing it, but I think he got the idea my mom was trying to teach us before I did. And one day, my mom, we were just talking, around the fire, and my mom was like, you guys, I don't know why you complain a lot when you're doing dishes. And she said, doing dishes should be the best moment whereby you're quiet by yourself, and you're just focusing on doing the dishes, and just be grateful and thankful that you're able to have food on your table, remembering that there are other people who never did have anything to eat. And she said, we are so busy during the day, but John, tomorrow when you get a moment to do the dishes, because obviously I come from a family with 9 family members, and there are many dishes. So it will take you half an hour to an hour to do, and we don't have the sink. She'll say, take that moment to reflect. Take that moment to thank God. Take that moment to dig deep. As you wipe down the dirt from the plate, could also be a moment of, shedding out, washing yourself through a self-reflection moment. And I kind of took that, and it was like an aha moment for me. It's like, I can be doing the dishes, and instead of being frustrated and wondering why you keep telling me do the dishes, I can change that moment. And she said, you choose. You can choose to change that moment to be a gratitude moment for you. By doing the dishes, you appreciate the food and everything that you have, and you say a prayer for those people who have no food and nothing to eat or nothing to dress. That changed my life. I challenge whenever I'm speaking to, whether it's adults or young professionals or the youth, I challenge them to try that. That I know here we have dishwashers and everything, but I say, when you have a moment to do dishes, just take that as a reflection moment for you. Be grateful, and, through faith, pray for those who don't have anything to eat. Because that changed my life. And every time I'm doing gratitude moment or speaking about gratitude, I'm like filled, because that changed my life.
That's an awesome way to think about it, because that gives you a time to reflect, and it gives you your own personal quiet time, right?
Yeah.
But we never understood what our mothers were teaching us when at the time she was
Yeah.
It's like always when she's done teaching is when we realize what she's trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's an awesome advice, And for me, when I'm doing the dishes, I'm always thinking about what I'm going to do, what my recipes are going to be for the next day.
Yeah.
So again, reflection, right?
Yeah,
and
reflection.
Prepared. So so for me, it's like having a list. It's like, okay, what do I need? Do I have all of the things to prepare for the next meal, which is even in 24 hours, but you're being prepared.
Yes. Yes.
So
I think it's different. It's different for every person, and sometimes the way I do it, I listen to some music and I get into that zone of, today I was so busy I didn't get a chance to do this, but now I'm doing dishes and it's long, peaceful, and.
So your advice to everybody is just do the dishes and reflect.
Do the dishes and reflect.
I love that advice. Now, those young kids, they have to take this advice with a grain of salt, right? Because they have to do the dishes and reflect. That's a lot of help for the mothers. I like that advice.
Yeah, it is great because, your mom can also get a chance to, do something else, and you can, turn your phone off or put some music on and just do the dishes and, express the gratitude to whoever cooked the food for you, or, thank God for everything, you know what I mean?
Yes,
so
that's very good advice. So what's your next step? What are you doing in the next 60 days? How are you, adding value to people?
Oh, that's a very, very great question. I would say I'm looking to shift my gears a little bit, and I'm a person of faith, and I always say that faith is the cornerstone. Without faith, my life is not there. And so my teachings and my gratitude and inspiration, I'm taking it to now the faith-based communities, and I'm looking to serve because obviously here most companies and most schools are closed, so we're taking a little break there. And most of the people I've spoken with are saying the fall is the best time for them to go in because people are not in vacation, but the faith community is still there. So I am going to them. I am also working with the African Catholic community in Philadelphia to develop a program that would enrich more people, more African American people, to be able to elevate their faith, to be able to elevate them in order for them to realize what it is that they are looking for, their passion, their purpose in life, and to be able to share that with the world. Because if I don't do it, who will? That's the question I'm asking myself.
Oh, okay.
I have to do it.
You have now got the intention and the awareness to do this. And if you're not going to do it, then who will? Is that what you're asking yourself?
That's what I'm asking myself. I have this, God has brought me to this far, and he's saying, look on your left. I want you to go and serve those people, and that's where I want to take in the next 60 days. And what is in the pipeline is we are creating a professionals mentorship career day for the fall. And that's what we're working on right now, where we invite the business people, the professionals, to come and meet these young adults and the youth, high school kids, college kids, so that they can interact and they can ask questions. Because again, when young folks meet professionals, sometimes there's a barrier, and we are preparing them to be able to ask great questions. Because when you ask a great question, you get a great answer.
Yes.
When you ask a common question, you get a common answer.
True.
So we are working to elevate these young professionals and young adults and the youth to help them be in a position to ask great questions and get the mentorship that they need, so that when their time comes to graduate, to go, to change careers, they have the right mindset, the right attitude, and the right help that they can hang on to. So that's what's in the pipeline in the next 4 months.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I love the fact that you are working with the youth, the future of tomorrow, right? They are the future.
Yes.
Because we are old now. I don't know about you, but I'm old. I know you're smiling. You say, I'm not that old, but you know what? We are aging every second.
Yeah.
So, and I love the fact that you're working with the youth, and I appreciate what you're doing, and I acknowledge what you're doing. And if there is anywhere you and I can work together, please, all you have to do is ask.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time and your wise wisdom, words of wisdom to us today. For those people who are watching, we have, I'm going to upload this on YouTube. So watch this and like and subscribe to my channel. And my channel, my segment is Munira's Musings. And, we both are John Maxwell certified coaches, so we can collaborate, even though we're in different states and cities, but we can collaborate. It's always Zoom, right?
It's all Zoom, yeah.
So, and so if anybody needs, John is going to give me his website. You can click on that I'm going to put that in the description box. And thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Yeah, thank you so much, Munira, for having me and hearing me out. And I hope what I shared is of value to our listeners, and keep up the good job of adding value to as many people as you can. And we appreciate the job that you're doing. So thank you so much.
And humbly thank you, Asante Sana.
Asante, all right.